Have you ever opened your eyes in the morning after 7, maybe even 8 hours of sleep, only to feel like you never slept at all? You are not alone. Millions of people, despite getting what should be enough sleep, wake up feeling groggy, irritable, and mentally foggy. They drink caffeine just to feel normal, and by mid-afternoon, they crash again, caught in a frustrating loop of exhaustion that modern life tells them is just part of adulthood. But neuroscience tells us something else entirely. In this episode, we are going to uncover the real brain-based reasons you wake up tired, not just the surface-level explanations, but the underlying mechanisms at the neural, hormonal, and psychological levels that dictate how rested or unrested you feel upon waking. And more importantly, we will explore what you can actually do about it. Why is it that two people can get the same amount of sleep, and yet one feels vibrant while the other feels wrecked? Why do some people feel refreshed after 6 hours, while others need 9 and still struggle? And what is the role of dopamine, cortisol, light exposure, and even emotional stress in your perception of energy? These are not just academic questions. They are the key to changing how you feel every single morning. And the answers might surprise you. Question for you: what is your current morning energy level on a scale from 1 to 10? And if it is lower than 8, what do you think is stealing your energy? Let us dive into the science. The idea that 8 hours of sleep is the universal gold standard is, quite frankly, a misdirection. Neuroscience has revealed that it is not how long you sleep, but how well your brain cycles through very specific stages of sleep. Your brain does not sleep uniformly. Instead, it cycles through roughly 90-minute phases known as sleep stages, moving from light sleep stage 1 to deeper sleep, stage 2 into slow wave deep sleep, stage 3, and finally into REM sleep, which is where dreaming occurs. Each of these stages plays a different role in repairing your body, consolidating memories, balancing hormones, and most relevant to this episode, restoring your sense of wakefulness. Here is the twisting if your brain is repeatedly pulled out of these deeper stages, either by environmental noise, stress, blue light, or even subtle breathing irregularities. You may technically sleep for 8 hours, but function as if you only had 4. Worse, the part of the brain that is supposed to transition you into wakefulness, the hypothalamus, relies on these stages to time your hormonal wake up, cocktail, a surge of cortisol and dopamine that should peak within 30 minutes of rising. When those systems are disrupted during sleep, the result is predictable: you wake up tired. This is why many people feel they slept, but did not actually rest, because the brain never completed its internal recovery checklist. Ask yourself, have you ever tracked your sleep stages, not just hours? What did you notice? Your morning state is not random. It is chemically engineered by your brain. Upon waking, your brain should initiate what scientists call the cortisol awakening response, or CAR. This is a natural and healthy spike in cortisol triggered by the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the brain's master clock, and it plays a critical role in alertness, energy, and mood. But here is what most people miss: cortisol is not inherently bad. In the right amount, at the right time, it is your friend. It clears brain fog, mobilizes blood sugar for mental energy, and synchronizes your body clocks. But here is where the problem begins. If your cortisol rhythm is blunted, meaning your brain does not initiate that spike, or worse, if it is reversed due to chronic stress or irregular sleep, then your morning energy will suffer. Add to that a lack of morning sunlight because you slept in or stayed indoors, and dopamine, the motivation chemical, also takes a hit. Dopamine relies on light exposure to peak during the day and diminish at night. Miss the morning light window, and your internal system scrambles. The result: you wake up chemically unprepared. You are not lazy. Your brain is simply underpowered. One powerful intervention, backed by multiple studies, expose your eyes to natural light within 30 minutes of waking, even on cloudy days. This simple habit jump starts cortisol and dopamine in the exact rhythm your brain craves. Have you ever noticed that your best mornings often follow early sunlight exposure, even if sleep duration was average? That is no coincidence. That is chemistry. Waking up tired is not always about the body. Sometimes it is the mind, more specifically, the dopaminergic system. Dopamine is a neuromodulator that plays a central role in drive, anticipation, and mental energy. It is not just about feeling good. It is about feeling motivated. And low dopamine states often masquerade as morning fatigue. Have you ever had mornings where you woke up not just tired, but indifferent? Where the idea of getting out of bed felt meaningless, regardless of how long you slept? This is a telltale sign of dopamine dysregulation, and it is incredibly common: chronic overstimulation. Social media, processed food, poor boundaries around work can desensitize dopamine receptors. When that happens, your brain needs more stimulation to feel motivated, and basic tasks, like waking up, begin to feel heavy, dull, even depressive. The solution is not another cup of coffee. It is rebalancing your dopamine system through what is called dopamine scheduling. That includes deliberate, healthy challenges in the morning, cold exposure, exercise, learning something new. These dopamine investments signal to the brain that there is reward in the effort itself. Over time, your baseline motivation rises. You wake up looking forward, not just dragging yourself forward. Question to consider: when was the last time you had a compelling reason to get out of bed? How might your morning energy change if your first action was intrinsically rewarding? There is a lesser known but profoundly important concept in sleep science called sleep inertia. It is the transitional period, usually lasting 15 to 90 minutes, where the brain is technically awake but still metabolically slowed down. During this window, your prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for decision-making and focus, is still bouting up. If you jump into your day too aggressively during this state, or make key decisions before your brain is ready, it compounds feelings of fatigue and anxiety. That foggy-headed feeling upon waking is not necessarily a flaw in your routine. It is a byproduct of how the brain ramps up from sleep to wakefulness. Understanding this is powerful. You can work with sleep inertia, not against it, by building a gentle start to your morning. Sunlight, movement, hydration, perhaps some light reading or breath work. You allow your brain to complete its reboot instead of shocking it into stress. Also critical, avoid snoozing your alarm. Each time you fall back asleep, you enter a new sleep cycle your brain is not ready to complete. You wake again mid-cycle, deeper into inertia than before. Set your wake time. Stick to it. Let the brain recalibrate. Ask yourself, do your current morning habits support or sabotage this transition phase? Tiredness is not just psychological, it is also deeply physiological. Inflammation, particularly chronic low-grade inflammation, can directly affect your central nervous system and energy metabolism. A poor diet, rich in processed sugars, seed oils, and artificial additives, triggers systemic inflammation. That inflammation crosses the blood-brain barrier, disrupting neurotransmitters like serotonin and glutamate and dulling mitochondrial function in neurons. Translation, your brain cells literally produce less energy. In the morning, this manifests as what many describe as a brain fog or heavy head. You might have technically rested, but your cells are metabolically impaired. On the flip side, certain nutritional strategies can dramatically reduce this burden. A high-protein, low-sugar breakfast, ideally with healthy fats and fiber, stabilizes blood glucose and reduces inflammatory spikes. Incorporating omega-3s polyphenols like berries or green tea and magnesium can further optimize brain performance. Hydration is also vital. Even 1-2% dehydration can impair cognition and mood. Start your morning with 16 ounces of water, perhaps with electrolytes, before coffee. It makes a measurable difference in wakefulness. Question for you: could your fatigue be less about sleep quantity and more about internal inflammation and nutrient imbalance? Here is a paradox. Most people do not realize that their morning energy is shaped by what they do the night before. Let us examine the most common evening habits that sabotage next day wakefulness. 1. Blue light exposure. Screen time past 9 p.m. suppresses melatonin and delays sleep onset. Even worse, it shifts your circadian rhythm forward, making you groggier the next day. 2. Late eating. Digestion demands metabolic energy. Eating close to bed means your body is busy processing food when it should be repairing the brain. 3. Alcohol. While it may help you fall asleep faster, alcohol disrupts REM sleep and suppresses deep sleep. You wake up more often and feel unrested. 4. Scrolling social media in bed. This stimulates dopamine and delays melatonin release. Your brain stays active long after your body is horizontal. 5. Inconsistent sleep timing. Sleeping at a different time each night destabilizes your circadian rhythm. The brain never gets the chance to lock in a healthy pattern. What is the solution? Build a power down ritual. Set a digital sunset time. Dim lights. Read a physical book. Stretch. Journal. These are not luxuries. They are the neurochemical preparation your brain needs for true rest. Challenge. What is one nightly habit you could change this week to protect your next morning's energy? Let us bring it all together. Based on the latest neuroscience, here are 7 protocols that reliably improve your morning wakefulness. 1. Get sunlight within 30 minutes of waking triggers cortisol and dopamine rhythms, sets your circadian clock. 2. Hydrate before caffeine. Water with electrolytes activates metabolism and rehydrates brain tissue. 3. Delay caffeine by 90 minutes, prevents the caffeine crash by aligning with natural cortisol rhythms. 4. Do 25 minutes of light movement, walking, stretching, or breath work improves blood flow to the brain. 5. Avoid the snooze button, protects against sleep cycle fragmentation and deeper sleep inertia. 6. Eat a protein-rich breakfast, stabilizes glucose, reduces inflammation, and supports dopamine. 7. Use a consistent sleep-wake schedule. Even on weekends, trains the brain for predictable energy regulation. These are not tips. They are tools. Evidence-based, physiologically aligned strategies to reset the way your brain and body generate energy. And while each one is powerful, the real change happens when you stack them consistently over time. Because here is the truth: waking up tired is not your destiny. It is a solvable puzzle. You deserve to wake up feeling alive, not just functional. And the neuroscience makes one thing clear: your tiredness is not random, and it is not weakness. It is feedback. It is your brain asking for better inputs, better patterns, and better alignment. You now have the tools to change this. Not overnight, but definitely over time. And that change begins with awareness, then action. So I will ask you this: what is the single biggest insight you are taking from this video? And what is the one habit you are willing to commit to for the next 7 mornings? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. If this video gave you clarity or value, please support this channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who deserves to feel well-rested. Your energy is your life force. Protect it.